Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. Yes, it is Fearless Friday. Hello. Glad to see you guys here. Welcome to season 2 of Fearless Fridays. This is episode 6. Today, we were due to talk a little bit about pain with my awesome and amazing guest. She is the founder of On Demand Pain Relief, and she is also the owner of Jones, Jones Healthcare and Consulting. However, due to some unforeseen situations, she's not going to be able to be with us today. However, she will be with us in the next or upcoming week. So you will still have an opportunity to meet this amazing woman, hear all about her wonderful business and some things that she's had to overcome and how she can really, really be helpful to us by way of dealing with pain. So let's talk about that. I wanted to take this time. Hi, Patrice. Hey, hey. I wanted to take this time. Hey, Adriana. Thank you for being here. You like my? I cut it, guys. I cut it. I'm trying to, layer it a little more because the other look was just. So, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Glad you noticed. Hey. It's coming together. It's a little tighter right now, but yeah, it's gonna come together. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit about pain today. There's so many things going on in the world right now, and yes, we are all experiencing a tremendous amount of pain in various and different areas of our lives. So, I always start my Fearless Fridays with a definition. So let's go to this one. So let's talk about pain. Pain, it says, is a complex and subjective sensory and emotional experience that typically results from the perception, can't read today, of harmful stimuli or potential tissue damage. It is a fundamental part of the body's defense mechanism, serving as a warning signal to help individuals protect themselves from harm. Pain can vary in intensity, duration, and quality. And it is influenced by various factors, including psychological, emotional, and physiological components. So that's not really new to any of us. We have all experienced all kinds of pain. Let me go ahead and silence my phone because it is just going off. Hold on. Okay. So considering that, right? I just wanted to take the time right now, because we are missing Miss Tanya, to talk about some of those things. What is pain? What's painful for you guys right now? There's a couple of you that are in the audience. Thank you for being here. I see Cornell is on. Oh, everybody seems to like that today. Hey, good job. So thanks for being here, Cornell. I think maybe Jeanette is on also. Sometimes they're sharing their access. So anyway, so what is the pain that you all are dealing with right now? I know for myself, and I was hopeful to have this conversation with Tanya, but for me, I have been dealing with some chronic pain, guys, for the last, oh my goodness, 6 years, maybe a little bit longer, but definitely for the last 6. As many of you know, I owned a franchise, and it was very labor intensive. Although I loved it, it was wonderful and creative, it really took a toll on my body, right? So when we talk about, pain, standing for long periods of time and not making sure that you have the right gear on to stand for long periods of time. Now, don't get me wrong. I had the floor mats. I had everything that I needed really from a tools kind of perspective, meaning I had floor mats. I had the right maybe height chairs, right? If I did sit down, or those standing kind of chairs, my tables were at the right height, all that kind of stuff. But what I didn't do, or what I failed to do, was the things that I needed to do for myself. So that was like wearing compression stockings, right? Something that would assist me for those long hours of standing, putting, the cushions in my shoes, right? Because yeah, we wear good tennis shoes. That's all good, well, and fine. But when you're standing for as long as I was standing at different periods in time, it's almost like you don't have on any shoes at all, right? So you got to talk about, these are some of my physical pains, right, that I experienced in that business. That's just one type, right? Because we just talked about there's physical, there's emotional, right? Psychological. But then I ended up closing that business, right? So then there was not only the physical pain that I'd had to deal with and endure, right? Come to find out that I had some subluxation in my vertebrae, was expected to have a fusion surgery, which I opted to not do because it was during COVID. But then there was the emotional pain, right? And psychological pain that I was dealing with. Having to close my baby, right? This was a business that I built, right? I grew it up, right? From, an idea that was introduced to me, and I put everything I had into this business. So closing it wasn't like my favorite thing to do, but it made sense at the time. And so it took an emotional toll on me and a psychological kind of toll on me, because talking about Fearless Friday here, it put me in a little bit of a spin, because it was the thing that I was so passionate about, right? I considered myself the gratitude concierge, right? This is what I was selling, was gratitude and happiness and support for people, and ways for people to show their appreciation and their love and their joy, all that wonderful stuff. So it took a toll on me, right? In addition to that, so we talked about the physical component. We talked about that psychological and that emotional component as well. I wasn't always the most pleasant person to be around for a period of time. And, I had to look inward to really understand, like, what was that all about? So, of course, that was then, and we fast forward to today. So today, that's just another feather in the cap. However, the pain that is still lingering is this physical pain that I have. And that I have to continue to work on, right? So pain management, they talk about that. That is such a crock of a word. We all do it. We do manage our pain, whether it be by taking Tylenol and Advils and ibuprofens, or whatever the other things are that you're using to kind of manage your pain. I know for me, I've had to get those steroid injections to try to ease the pain, the numbness in my arm, stuff like that. Like, there's all these things that we do, right, to quote unquote manage our pain. But the reality is we really need to pay attention to the bigger issue. In the definition, it talked about it's a warning sign. It's a symbol. Something is happening here. Something is going on. It is our responsibility to ourselves to make sure that we're tapping in with ourselves, understanding what's really happening here. And I know we all, we'll make the excuse of we don't have a lot of time. A lot of men just don't necessarily go to the doctor. And I am a big advocate for all of my wonderful men that are watching, listening on the replay, or watching live. Please, no matter what you do, get to the doctor, get all of your physical exams done, check it out. You got a little problem, something's bugging you, something doesn't feel good, whatever it is, just go find out about it, because, we don't want to turn around and it's like the too late mark, right? We want to know ahead of time. While the symptoms or the signals are minimal, pain means it's something. So we've waited a little bit of time and maybe we've ignored some stuff, especially when the pain is chronic. But let's get in there, guys. We got to make sure we're taking care of ourselves, right? Sorry, let me just pause for a second. I have a couple of comments here I'm going to put up. Yeah, it's a great topic. So Kenya Dennis says, great topic. We got a couple of comments coming in from Cornell Stewart, who says pain of betrayal. Oh my gosh. So yes. So when we talk about pain, I asked you what was the pain you're experiencing right now. So yeah, if it's pain of betrayal, if it's pain of, again, physical, emotional, psychological, like tap in with me. What is the pain that you're experiencing right now? Now, again, I know that Tanya was coming on and it was going to be more or less related to more physical things to some degree, but I can't give away everything. But there are so many different pains that we're dealing with. In fact, I'll also stop to say, I would like to, for my auntie that's out there, my auntie Barry, another great friend of mine, Renee, there's a lot of people that are losing people right now, and that's painful, you know. So my heart goes out to you. Definitely my condolences, but yet another form of pain that we're experiencing right now, another emotional pain that we are dealing with because, we are losing people. We got a comment from Catrice who says she's dealing with the pain of being around toxic people. Ooh, wee. Yes. And that, when we see that, again, we talk about going to the doctor's office, getting our physicals and getting checked out. When we make that, and we have that understanding that some of those folks that are in our midst are really not for us, they were toxic. Just like some of these other things, it's not going to be the short term, let's, take the pill kind of situation. Those are the times where you really need to do some inventory around those individuals. Understand, what is the role that they're playing in your life? Hopefully have a great conversation with them about if it's necessary or if you even feel like it's worth it, but to potentially have that conversation. And, that comes back to that boundary discussion. Several episodes back, we talked about boundaries, right? So this is where you got to set that boundary to protect yourself, right? So that you can begin to heal and you can get out of that pain, right? Of being around those toxic individuals. And for sure, her second component or statement on that is that it can result in serious illness. It can, especially when they're people that you really love, people that have been in your life for a long time, or people that have had influence in and or over your life, depending on how close they are to you, right? It can physically make you sick, physically. So, we have to make sure that we're paying attention and taking care of ourselves. We've got to do that. Cornell says, emotional pain takes longer to heal, for sure. Yeah, I think we all know that. Or can not know, but we all can attest to that. I know I certainly can. There are a number of things that we've all gone through. I know for myself that I have gone through, and I'm still emotionally tied to. And while I'm still working myself through them or those particular situations, understanding what I can do and how I can do it so that I take care of me, my self-care. It remains, again, important for all of us, right? One, to identify, two, to make a plan or understand what you can do, and then three, to take that action. So, all right, let me see here. We have another comment from Mr. Cornell Stewart. He says, we need to rethink our perception of pain, in that sometimes painful situations will force you to depend on God to get you through them. And sometimes the painful situations come into your life to force you to call upon him. Yep. Great comment. Thank you, Cornell. Great reminder too, by the way. So I know I've said a lot of what you might want to do, but absolutely has everything to do with what God can do, because he can take it right away. And in some cases, yeah, it does force us to rely. to come back to the drawing board and really look at what is important and where we're going to get that help. And we know that help comes from here. So, yeah. Tree says, yes, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that I tapped in with you guys today. Definitely, if you're watching live, or again, if you are watching on replay, while we didn't have my guest on today, we are still going to have a brief conversation around pain. You know, chime in. Let me know what it is you're dealing with today. What kind of pain are you facing right now at this particular time in your life? Is it physical? Is it emotional? Is it psychological? What kind of pain are you dealing with? Even down to my little poochie here, Mr. Munchkin. Some of you may know him, some maybe not. But my little buddy, you know, they can't tell us what's happening with them or when they're feeling pain, right? In a way that we can tell each other. But he definitely relies on me to pay attention and to be aware. So unfortunately, I was a bad mommy. Well, not necessarily a bad mommy. I just didn't notice because he's so rambunctious. As old as he is always up and down and moving around. But he had a something happening on his hip. And, you know, I had him bathed today, only to find out that he had a really big, like maybe something bit him, or somehow it created like a big sore on his side. And, you know, he doesn't complain as long as he's being fed and played with and paid attention to. He kind of keeps on going on about his day. But, you know, it wasn't until I noticed that and I touched it today, then yes, then there was a little bit of yelping. And, you know, so we got to pay attention to these things, man. Yeah, even down to our pets, especially for the ones that we love that are like, you know, our little family. So, ain't that right, Bubba? So again, if you guys are on here and you're listening, you're watching, and you're dealing with some things, chime in, talk to me. Let me know what's going on. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today, and if you guys haven't had an opportunity, you should check out G-Men After Dark. It airs on Friday evenings on YouTube as well as Facebook, but we asked you to go to YouTube, and it's G-Men After Dark. And he was saying, you know, there's so many people dealing with pain, sciatic pain, these knee pains, knee replacements, hip replacements, even my own mama, right? Like, I know she's been dealing with some knee issues and considering potentially knee replacement. And it's like, man, what is happening? Like, what is going on right now that, you know, what have we been doing? I know we pay attention to our bodies, at least I believe we do for the most part, but it seems like there is a lot of that. And that was one of the things that O was saying earlier. He's like, you know, I've heard of so many folks around our age in their 50s, right? That are actually having these kinds of surgeries right now. So it's kind of like, why? I'd really like to understand. Is it something that we're doing? Are you working out too rigorously? Are you just not paying attention? Is it more related to, you know, for some of us women, is it osteoporosis? Is it osteoporosis? What is it called? I think that's what it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody on here tell me. But, you know, where our bones are getting a little bit more brittle. What is it? I don't really know. But I thought that was an interesting statement when he made it earlier. Hey, forget you, Cornell. He's talking about my baby boy here, Mr. Munchkin, calling him Cujo. He's not AKA Cujo. He's your sweetest. Wait, hold on. Y'all got to see him because he is the sweetest. See? This is my buddy. Say hi. He's like, yeah, I don't want to deal with it. Anyway, so again, Cornell's saying here that pain is a tool the body uses to alert you. Yeah, so we said in that definition, absolutely. That's exactly what it is. Ring a ding, 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 ding. Something's happening. Check in with yourself. Pay attention. Understand or try to find out what's going on, right? The sooner the better. We do not want to let these things linger and go on and on and on. So with that said, I don't see a lot of comments, any additional comments here at the moment, but I definitely wanted to just, again, shout out to everybody that has been on here, that shows up on Fridays for this Fearless Friday. So, oh my God, he's so cute. He is cute. Thank you, Catrice. He is a cutie pie. He looks like an old man, but he is old, by the way. I think he's like, what are you now, Munchkin? It's 2024. So shoot, he's 15 years old now. So he's getting up there, but you wouldn't know it if you see him, guys. I'm telling you, he still pops around here like he is a pup. So Kenya Dennis says, like you said, pain is a signal that something is wrong. And look, you know, some of these things are real subtle, right? Really subtle. Maybe it's because you woke up this morning, you had a headache. Then you had another one. Maybe it lasted all day. Maybe it was you woke up the next day and still had a headache or another headache, but it was still kind of mild, right? Sometimes that could be your blood pressure. Could be. I know I get migraines, right? And usually, especially if I'm not eating, it will come on me so strong. And sometimes I don't, right? I'm busy throughout the day. I'm doing this, doing that, and I forget. I know. How do you forget to eat? I do. I'll forget to eat because I'm just moving. Next thing you know, I have a freaking migraine, and it's taking me out because they're no joke. But again, that's still another signal that something is happening in my body. I need to do something, even if that something is drink water, eat, because we forget to do even sometimes the simplest of things because life is so freaking busy. The other thing, by the way, is, that I mentioned a minute ago, self-care, right? I know we hear that all the time, but I mean, really, guys, like taking care of yourself, doing some things, laughing, doing things that relax you. I know a few weeks back, we talked about breathing techniques. One of the things I do in the morning, and I try to do it consistently every morning now, is just before I get up, I will put on not just before, but in my morning routine, I put on a prayer, right? A 5-minute prayer. And so I can just, before I get up and start running into the day, I know many of us meditate. We meditate on the word. We meditate on just generally meditation, quiet time and just, but for me, that meditation, the morning prayer is sometimes it is a meditation, a meditative prayer. And sometimes it's just kind of gearing me up for what I want my day to look like, how I want my day to flow, right? How I would like for God to bless my day, how I want him to help guide me through my day, right? And how I deal with people and situations and things or whatever the case may be. So, that's a great practice for me because it kind of brings my temperature down. It kind of resets me and it gets me kind of in a much calmer mode. I don't have to wake up kind of like startled and chaotic day because it seems like when you start your day, for me, when I start my day that way, then my day kind of goes that way. So what I'm looking at now is really relaxing into my day, being prayerful about my day, being mindful and being intentional. So, again, I know we're talking about pain, but this is one of the ways I know for me, I'm hopeful that I can keep myself away from some unnecessary pain just by making sure I set my day up a little bit more appropriately. So Catrice says, I can honestly say, since I've been praying more than ever in my life, I feel some relief. I thank God I am healthy and strong. To God be the glory. Amen. Absolutely. Cornell writes, emotional pain can sometimes result from disappointment caused by our own expectations of what things should be versus what God has for us. Man, I know one of my mantras is not the people that let us down, it's the expectations that we have of people. And I don't mean just people, but people, places, things, situations, life, all that, right? We have such high expectations about how we want something to be, but That's what we want. That doesn't mean that's what God wants for us. So that's a great point, Cornell. Like, that doesn't mean that's what he has for us. That's what we want for us. And of course, it gives us free will. So sure, if this is what we're praying on, okay, go ahead. I'm gonna give it to you. But yeah, this isn't something that was according to his plan per se. It was according to the plan that we wanted to set for ourselves. So great point. Talana McKinney, welcome. Good to see you. Talana says, we are not designed to sit or stand for 8 hours. That alone is taxing to the body, for real. Man, I'm in a training this week. Oh my goodness. And you ain't lying. That's sitting. You know, there was a standing situation before. Now I'm sitting just because I'm training, right? But yeah, you got to get up. You got to move around. Your body needs to keep moving. You know, you need to stay mobile. Keep your limbs and stuff moving. I know throughout the day, I do those exercises that they talk about where you're stretching your arms up and down. You know, you're standing up and down, right? Keep that blood pumping and moving through your body. Yeah. And for those of us that are not as active as we used to be, get active. I'm speaking to me as I'm speaking to you, speaking to me, get active. Yeah, we need to walk. If you're not able to run, go up some hills. You know what I mean? Challenge yourself. I was just watching the other day. Was it today? I think today. That it was years back, almost 7 years, I think now or more, where they had that Facebook challenge about the doing the push-ups for the veterans for mental health awareness and suicides, I think it was. And man, I was looking at those videos going, ooh, my head was doing more push-ups than my body. But the point I'm making is doing push-ups, calisthenics. I remember we used to do that when we were younger, right? You get up in the morning, you go to class, go to school, and you did jumping jacks and you did all this. That was just to make sure that our bodies, you know, were continuously moving, right? Keep our limbs active and moving. So we got to remember to do that for ourselves if we are not consistently hitting that gym. So, or it doesn't have to be the gym. It could just be other outside activities or other activities, period. Even things you're doing in your house. I'm not one for watching the videos on my phone and doing workouts like that, but if whatever works for you, just getting active, moving the blood through your body, stretching, critically important, guys. Stretching. That's another way of alleviating a lot of pain. Sometimes we're in pain because we're stiff. Our muscles are sort of constricting, right? Because we're not moving, we're not as active. So maybe sign up for Stretch Lab, right? That's a company or a business that they stretch you. So yeah, it sounds kind of, but they stretch you. So that's a great way to help you get your stretching in. So let me see. Kenya Dennis says, if you want to see God laugh, tell him your plan. Pastor says that a lot. Londa, I just experienced the Stretch Lab where they stretch the body in positions. Yeah. Because man, I know many of us can probably remember when we were a lot more flexible than we are today. And I don't mean flexible in the mind. I'm talking about flexible in our bodies, you know, where you could, you know, some of us anyway, maybe you could used to do the splits. No, ain't happening today. And then they have the two types. You have the regular one and the Chinese splits. Yeah, not happening. So we need to do a better job. Betty, hi, Mom. So Betty says, for any seniors watching, join your neighborhood senior center. It works. The Stretch Lab is awesome. All right, y'all both have been. Okay, I've been planning to go and I haven't even been myself. So see, again, as I say to you, I'm saying to me because I'm saying, you know, as I'm saying it to you, I'm saying it to me too. So Kenya says, yep, Kennedy Dennis is a certified trainer at the Stretch Lab. What? Didn't even know that. Okay. Big ups, Kennedy. Didn't know that. Congratulations. He's doing big things. And he's a trainer on his own. I don't know if he still has K5 or D5 training as well. Kenny, you got to let us know. We need to make sure we bring him on the show. Be good for him. Maybe he can teach us to do some stuff we can do, while we're at home, as well as when we come and spend some time with him at the Stretch Lab. So, what does Catrice says? Yes to both things Kenya said. Okay. Yes. So thank you guys for really being active. And yes, he does still have, it is called KD5 Fitness. For those of you watching who are still looking for a trainer, KD5 Fitness, you can reach out to Kenya Dennis or Kennedy Dennis on Facebook, I believe it is for sure. And it's KD5 Fitness. So if you need some assistance, you need a good trainer, he's your man. So anyway, guys, I definitely wanted to tap in with you all today. Talk a little bit about pain. Cannot wait to have Miss Tanya on. But until then, if anyone out there is experiencing any kind of pain or any discomfort of any type, again, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, whatever it happens to be, take the time, invest in yourself, and make sure you get the appropriate type of assistance and support that you need to get through it. And again, that might mean going to a doctor's office, getting a physical done. And listen, don't let someone, you got to advocate for yourself. A few episodes back when we had Dr. Candace on, that was one of the things she said. You have to advocate for yourself, right? Because a lot of times when you go to the doctor's office, it's so quick. It's like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. No, sometimes you need more, a deeper dive, more information. You need some other tests done. And while you can't make them, if you have to get secondary opinions or go outside of your network, and maybe even spend some money, it's worth it because you're worth it. Your life is worth it, right? Your mental state is worth it. Your emotional state is worth it. Your psychological state is worth it. So find the time, make the time, and find the support that you need to take care of that, right? So that you're not just in pain, living in chronic pain of whatever type that might happen to be. So take the time, do yourself that favor, and do the favor for the people that are around you that love you also, right? It's more so about yourself. But, I know for me, I want to be here for, I want to see my grandkids. I don't have any yet. So I know or many of you guys do, but I don't have any yet. So I want to be around. I want to be in great shape, to be able to hang out and play with them. So Betty says, advocating for yourself is extremely important. Yes, it is. It is. I know many of us will advocate for others, right? Our children, our grandparents, our parents, specifically, or especially rather our parents. We'll be on our parents all day about what we need them to do. I know I am. Betty can tell you. She will tell you. I'm on her all the time. Do this, do that. Did you check this? Did you check that? So listen, we have to be just as diligent when it comes to ourselves, right? Making sure that we're doing what we need to do for us. And for those that can't speak for themselves, like my little munchkin. And for our children, of course, as parents, we are typically on top of those things when it comes to our kids and paying attention to, if their behaviors are changing or if it seems like something, hurts them or whatever. True story too, by the way. I remember my kids were younger when Daryl was young, and he came home one day and he told me, he's like, Mom, I can't, I was in class and I'm having problems seeing the board, right? I'm thinking he's a kid. So if he's having problems, I'm like, well, what are you doing in class, right? Because, so I said, what are you doing in class? Where are you sitting? Are you sitting in the back of class? Are you sitting in the front of class? I said, I remember I always told you, you guys need to sit in front of class. He's like, no, Mom, I'm sitting at the front of the class. I'm like, you're sitting at the front of the class? He's like, yes. I said, you can't see the board? He's like, no. So I'm like, he said, I think I need glasses. I said, well, you don't need no glasses. I told him he need no glasses. I'm not an ophthalmologist. How am I going to tell my son he don't need no glasses? So I don't know, maybe a couple weeks went by, teacher calls, and she basically informs me again. Now, my son and I are having this conversation. I'm like, no, I'll make an appointment, but I don't think there's anything wrong with your eyes. Teacher calls. Said the same thing. I think Gerald's having some trouble seeing the board. Might want to get his eyes checked. I said, yeah, we have an appointment. Man, I felt so bad. I felt so bad. Why did I take my son to the doctor? And not only was he actually having problems seeing the board, had astigmatism in one eye, and they were like, yeah, he's going to need to wear glasses. So I was like, what? He needs to wear glasses? As I have mine on today. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I had to go home and apologize to my child. And I said, you know what? I'm so sorry. Because, when they're young, you think they're just kind of playing and, being silly. And I've always wondered, like, how do you know? Because they're so young. Like, how do they know they're not seeing? Well, I guess if they're not seeing clearly, then yeah, that would be it. So basically, yeah, that was it. So yeah, all I'm saying about that is make sure you're advocating for yourself, for those others, for your youngins, for your pets, if you have them, if you think maybe something could potentially be going on with them, as well as, like we do for our parents and stuff. So remember, do those same things you do for someone else for yourself, because again, you are worth it. You are important. And, I want to see you back here, right? We're growing this community, guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure if you're on YouTube that you are subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing. If you are in the Facebook world, please be sure to do the same. Definitely share. I am really looking to grow this community. I'm consistently here. I am showing up for you no matter what, with a guest, without a guest. Listen, we are here to have conversation about things that are meaningful, or something that maybe you just want to share. So in the next couple of weeks, we are going to have viewers' choice again. So if you have some ideas about something that you would like to talk about, a topic that you would like to discuss, drop me hit me on my DMs, or you can send me a text message if you have my number, or send me an email. But either way, let me know. We have some amazing guests coming up in the next few weeks. So I hope to see you all here again. Thank you all for being here. And thank you guys for commenting on the new hair. We're going to keep working on it though. Maybe, shorten it a little bit more, get a little bit more style. We'll see what happens. But thank you for commenting on the hair. Thank you for consistently being here. For those of you that are here almost every Friday, again, remember to like and share and comment and invite more people to show up to this community and be here with us. So thank you, Kenya. So thank you guys for being here. So as customary with Fearless Fridays, I like to leave all of our conversations with a quote. So today the quote is, listen to your body. It whispers its wisdom. And if you pay attention, it will guide you towards a healthier and happier life. So that's going to wrap another episode of Fearless Fridays. This is episode 6 of season 2. So we'll see you next Friday, same bat time, same bat channel. So till then, you guys have an amazing weekend. Remember to take care of yourselves. Bye.